Boom, we are live, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It's your boy Nolan Hawkeye Anthony here, and I hope you guys are having a fantastic week wherever you may be and however you may be listening. This video is a tad late, maybe 1 or 2 days, but today, or this morning rather, I want to take a look at recent Iowa football and wrestling commit Ben Kueter or Cooter. I don't know for sure. But I'm going to go with Ben Cooter, and if I get it wrong, please somebody let me know in the comments. And I want to say right off the bat, okay, I love that Iowa takes multi-sport athletes, and I will tell you why that is such a big advantage a little bit later in the video. But it is awesome. It's something Iowa does frequently, and it's something that they frequently have success in as well. But before we get into our evaluation and analysis, I want to mention going to 247hawkeye.com. I really hope you guys consider hitting that subscribe button. It means a ton when you guys do that. The channel continues to grow, as you guys can see in the background. It's only been, I don't know, maybe 4 months, and we're almost up to 250 subs. Not because of me, but because of you guys. And that is awesome. It really is. And every Saturday before the Iowa football game, I do a preview video, and I'm going to do it for the basketball season as well. A live hangout, so to speak, where you guys can comment and chat with me and my partner. So be sure to look for that on the channel, the live video where we can all come together and hang out a couple hours before the game. And last but not least, like, comment, share. It really helps when you do that. And without further ado, let's get into this. So here's Iowa's current 2023 recruiting class. And, you know, much was said in the offseason about Iowa losing a few head-to-head battles for, you know, 4-star defensive tackle Hunter Deo and 2 top in-state linebackers. And in my eyes, context means everything, okay? Number one, the Iowa Hawkeye roster is loaded at both the defensive line and the linebacking group. But, you know, all the guys that they missed out on, especially one of the linebackers, one of the top 3 players in the state in the 2022 class, grew up as Iowa fans. And, you know, for some of these top-notch programs, it doesn't matter how solid or how deep a certain position is. They find a way to convince someone who they feel has the talent to play for them to come to their school. Now, at the time, my panic meter out, you know, from a scale of 1 to 10 was as high as a 7, but now I would put it at about a 5. Okay. Iowa is having a phenomenal season, a phenomenal campaign. And so far in both the 2022 class and the 2023 class, okay, Iowa has landed 4 guys, okay, 4 guys that Iowa State themselves have offered. And more importantly, all these guys are in-state guys. One of them is a 4-star, considered a 4-star by rivals in the 2024 class. So more specifically, in the 2022 class, okay, and I will pull it up right here. My panic meter is still at about a 5, okay, because in my eyes, Iowa still should finish strong, but apparently this is going to be a smaller class, and the recruits that Iowa does have are very solid in the 2022 class. And I will pull this over to some of the head-to-head battles Iowa did lose, but they did win some as well. They won one with Aaron Graves. You know, bottom line is their recruiting class is solid thus far. And as the season continues, I am sure, if not positive, Iowa will be able to flip some people. They'll be able to land a few guys who were maybe a little undershadowed or under the radar going into the season because of Koof. Some of these top-notch athletes have not been able to show or display their talent as much. So as a whole, I am very positive about Iowa's recruiting, but more specifically in the 2022 class, my panic level is at a 4, maybe a 5, and those are the reasons why. But let's look more specifically at the 2023 class and Ben Cooter, okay? This was a phenomenal grab. Iowa State had already offered him. He had an offer from Minnesota and Missouri. So he had an offer from an SEC school, a Big 12 school, and 2 Big 10 schools. So the guy is talented. There is no doubt about that. Now, the thing that I wanted to express the most is from my point of view as a former Division I athlete myself, I think it is absolutely paramount for young athletes to play multiple sports. And I think it's paramount for a school like Iowa to look for guys who play multiple sports. And I will tell you why, okay? It's very simple. Guys that only play one sport, okay, it's not that they cannot be super talented, they can. But usually, by the time it is all said and done, by the time they get to college, if they are lucky enough to do so, they have already reached their peak or close to it because that is the only sport that they have played. Whereas guys who have played multiple sports and get to college and can finally put all the time in all of their time into one sport, they tend to have a very high ceiling, not to mention all the different tools and skills and attributes that they learned from these other sports that they can now solely put into one sport. Now, Ben Cooter is going to still be playing 2 sports, both wrestling and football. But in general, when you are able to put all the skills that you have learned in all these sports into one, you tend to have a higher ceiling. And the last point I want to make about the benefit of playing multiple sports is that the guys who do that tend to be excellent competitors. And that is what you want as an Iowa coach. That's what I want as a fan, are extreme top level competitors that know how to win and play at the highest level. So here we go. These are the rankings for the 2023 state of Iowa rankings, just overall. And it's not the most loaded class, but it is fairly strong. Okay. There are, and I believe, so I'll tell you who Iowa has offered. They've offered Caden Proctor, that's 1. They've offered Andrew DePappy, that's 2. They've offered Alex Mota, that's 3. They've offered JJ Cole, that's 4. They've offered Kai Black, that's 5. They've offered Maddox Borcherding Johnson, that's 6. They've offered Asa Newsom, whose brother plays at Nebraska. Iowa unfortunately missed on him. And they have offered Ben Cooter. Iowa has offered 8 in-state guys in this 2023 class. And in my eyes, it's very simple why, okay? They missed on a few guys in the class before, and they are looking to make up for it in the 2023 recruiting class. More specifically, Ben Cooter is ranked as the 8th, or considered the 8th best prospect in the state of Iowa. But in all honesty, I fully expect him to climb the recruiting rankings as his body continues to develop, as he continues to get bigger, stronger, and faster. But here is his profile. Like I already said, he had an offer from Missouri, a decent SEC school, Iowa State from the Big 12, and 2 Big Ten schools. He stands at 6'3", and he's already 220 pounds. And the fact that this guy is a Division I level talent at 2 sports, and one of them happens to be wrestling, I am very confident that he knows how to use leverage. He knows how to work angles, and he is explosive coming from the drive position where he needs to shoot up and shoot through towards finishing tackles. So that is very much appealing. And in general, guys, hello, Google Fi. You guys are going to hear me singing in the video. That's fine. Here are some highlights of Ben Cooter wrestling. I don't know how long I'm going to watch this for, but he does have a good physique. Iowa, Seth Wallace and Iowa tend to like having longer, taller linebackers who can defend from sideline to sideline and cover a lot of ground, not only because of their athleticism, but because of their size. And the bottom line is when you have guys like Justin Jacobs, who stands at 6'4", Jack Campbell, who stands at 6'4/6'5", it makes the field appear so much smaller because those guys are so big and take up so much space. So that is 100% a positive. By the way, Ben Cooter, I believe, is the guy in the orange here. Nice shot right there. Nice shot. So this is about it, guys. This is there's not a ton of football highlights for Ben, but I do think I will be able to see what I need to see in this 1 minute, even though it is difficult. I do like his ability to run the football on offense. He looks very comfortable catching the football, and this is him running. It looks very smooth, very explosive. One of my favorite recruits that Iowa landed in the 2021 recruiting class was linebacker / tight end Zach Tweed, and I like the idea of a very natural athlete who plays tight end and knows how to catch the football, who can also move to linebacker, and in other words, can get interceptions, things like that. And, you're not necessarily worried about him dropping a bunch of passes coming his way. Here, I was able to find one play. So a 20-yard pass to Ben Cooter for the touchdown. A little flea flicker there. A little flea flicker action. He runs very well, guys. He does. And he will only get smoother as a runner as he shifts more or as his body, he gets his man body. So that will happen. It happens to all of these high-level athletes. All right, guys, I was finally able to find it. Here are his sophomore highlights, and I failed to make this point earlier, but the fact that this guy is still only a junior in high school is very promising. Uh, and that's what I also said that about the defensive tackle that Iowa landed in the 2023. And it is important to also note that two of the 2023 recruits that Iowa has landed are top level wrestlers and top level football guys. Iowa loves having multi-sport athletes, and they're still so young. They still have so much time left to develop and mature. He shot the gap there real good. The Hawkeyes logo is so sick. It is so sick. And it's cool that there is a Little Hawks that exists. That is really awesome. There he is coming from the backside. Man, he closed that guy down in a hurry. Whoo, INT, baby. I wonder if he is projected more as a middle linebacker or an outside linebacker. If I had to guess, I would probably say inside linebacker. That would be my guess. But, you know, looking at his route running skills and his ability to run as a tight end, I don't see why he could not play on the outside. I mean, obviously it takes a certain amount of coverage skill, but, you know, he'll learn that once he gets to Iowa. Very, very physical, very physical. That's a few times now that he has lowered his shoulder and drove it into someone. Okay, we're gonna watch about 25 more seconds of this, and then good tackle. Yeah, he moves very well. He is definitely an athletic 6'3" linebacker, as I expected him to be. Unfortunately, his high school runs the football so much, it's hard to see how he moves. But, you know, it's important to note, this is his sophomore year, okay? In this video, he's going against juniors and seniors in high school, players that are 1-2 years older than him, and he's dominating. Okay. That is about good right there. Excellent tackle. Listen, guys, my analysis is very simple. Okay. The highlights were not excellent. But to be honest, I didn't really need to even see the highlights. Okay. Because for me, number one, I trust Iowa's ability to evaluate every position, but definitely offensive line, linebacker, and things like that. But Iowa has had such a very strong tradition of taking two-sport athletes and turning them in to all Big Ten NFL level players. And I'm not saying that this guy is going to become an NFL player. To be honest, because the talent at the next level is so good, he'd be lucky to become a consistent contributor. That's the reality for most guys in most recruiting classes. But he has excellent size. It's obvious he loves the University of Iowa. He lives in Iowa City. That's always good. Like I said, he stands at 6'3". He's already 220 pounds, so he'll have to gain about 20 pounds in college. But everything looks good. And from the highlights I was able to see, he does move well. The wrestling highlights that I showed, he looks to have a solid frame, which will only grow. But this is a guy that I will want to check back in later, in order to see how much more explosive he is, how much more his body is filled out as far as the frame goes. But from what I have seen so far, this is an excellent snag for the Iowa Hawkeyes. He probably would have gotten even more offers. So it was an excellent idea to offer when they did, and to seal the deal right then and there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys so much for watching. I really enjoy doing this, and you guys seem to enjoy watching this. I hope you guys consider hitting that subscribe button. And if you don't feel I've earned it, at the very least, like, comment, share. That's why I do this. I want to build a community of Iowa Hawkeye fans. And that is all there is to it. And last but not least, DBAT, don't be a pussy willow. In fact, for feelings, because feelings don't matter. Love y'all. Go Hawks.